Greetings and welcome to the Contracting Guy. I am the Contracting Guy, and I'm on location here at the Toledo Zoo. Notice my friend over here. I have an email from a veteran who says, "Hey, Contracting Guy, my name is Tom, and I'm from Toledo, Ohio. And I have a question. I want to know how I should respond to government solicitations given the COVID crisis." Well, Tom from Toledo, Ohio, I'll have an answer in just a moment. Thank you for the question, Tom from Toledo, Ohio. Let's break this down and explore it. Beforehand, I want to say that I am not an expert. This is my disclaimer. I am not expert in the COVID crisis. I am the contracting guy. I know contracting. So I'm not going to talk about the efficacy of masks or the feasibility of practices. What I'm here to say is that whatever the government tells you to do, you do it. If you want the contract, that's how you proceed. If you're not interested in the contract, well then don't do it. Frankly, I don't care. But I'm here to help you focus on what's important. So what's important here is do what the government tells you, because it will be in the solicitation what you're required to do and how you're required to respond. Having said that, there's a general 4 points that you ought to be mindful of. The first point is wearing masks. Again, this is not about mask efficacy, it's about what the government wants you to do. So if you're in a relationship with the government and you're meeting with them, you wear a mask. The second is you focus on the distance. So a mask, then distance. So you're not in this close proximity. So there's that 6-foot rule, or social distancing as they call it. The other one is looking at the frequent washing of hands. Now that's important. It was important anyway. But it's important now because of the nature of this particular virus. The last one is general sanitization of area, keeping things sanitized or clean. That's important. Now, with those 4 steps, wearing masks, keeping social distance, washing hands, and sanitizing, you're kind of capturing the general spirit of how you would relate to the government, because this is what they're going to ask you to do in some form or fashion. So if you're providing goods, a product, generally speaking, you're not going to have to worry about this with the government. I guess unless you spit on the product, and that's probably not a good thing to do anyway, so don't do that. The other one is if you're providing a service which requires you to be in-house there, doing things at a government facility, well, then you're going to have to follow the rules of the government, practicing social distancing and washing hands and all that other aspect of what we just talked about in those 4 points. Really, the takeaway is, and there's a lot of questions going, what do we do, what do we do, is look to the solicitation and ask questions. What does the solicitation say, how you should respond? And then ask questions as to if the solicitation is silent as to response, ask the question of the contracting officer, how are we to respond to this? This will help provide you insight and guidance as to that practice. And it may be that the contracting officer thought it was like, well, everybody should know. Well, if that's the case, let them say so, rather than you infer what they say. No reason to guess. Let them provide the insight as to how you should proceed. This is a really a difficult time because everybody's struggling with how to respond to this, and we've had 5 months at this point under our belt to look at it. So, as we come to the end of the fiscal year, it's important to know, with the increased tempo of purchasing, how you are to respond to them. So, let me just summarize. One is look to the solicitation. Secondly, ask questions. Third, and probably is even the first one actually, is to assess the kind of work that you do. If you provide a product which you just ship to them, probably low impact. But if you're providing a service, which means you're on site, you now have a higher impact, which means you have to follow the rules that have been set forth in the solicitation and do all the things such as wear a mask, keep social distancing, wash hands, and generally sanitizing the area that you're working. So, Tom, excellent question. I think that it helps better understand the environment we work. There are if you want to know more, there's certainly greater information on LinkedIn, and you can talk to the professionals about that. Thank you, Tom, from Toledo, Ohio. This is the Contracting Guy. I'm out. Thank you for watching the Contracting Guy. Please like, subscribe, and share the video. We'd appreciate that. This is the Contracting Guy. I'm out.